Hi, good morning. Welcome to Self-Defense Solutions. This is a video mainly to show you what we teach here and how we differ from other places. So this is my new student and a friend, Brad. How you doing, Brad? Good to see you today.
Good.
And he's going to help me out a little bit. Here's the point about self-defense, okay? You can't have a pre-programmed set of movements in your head. It's not possible to respond fast enough. And most every dojo that I've ever seen in my life teaches movements of strength, that you have to overpower your opponent. But I teach a lot of people who are, this young man's not, he's 28 years old, he's going back into the Army, New Zealand Army. So, but most of my students are older, they have they're not as healthy, they're not as, I don't want to say healthy, and I'll start this over again. I'll cut right here, but let's keep rolling, Kat. Most of the students that come here are not 21 years old and in great shape. So how do you overcome an opponent or an attacker who's a lot bigger than you, who has more experience than you, who may have friends that attack you? Well, you have to condition response, your nervous system and your mind, to understand some truths about self-defense. And if you fail to do that, you are relying on some kind of preconceived notion of what you'll be able to do, but you won't be able to do it. I've been teaching self-defense for women since 1980, okay, and it's now 2021, so it's a pretty long time, and I got a lot of experience. So what it boils down to is you're going to have to learn to use what I call three things. There's three things inherent in every kata, in every form, in every taolu that you'll find in the martial arts. And that is three dimensions. There's the dimension of depth, the dimension of width, and the vertical dimension. If you balance all three of those dimensions, okay, you are then able to dissipate force and return force to your attacker. Okay, it's not about a 10-round fight. It's about surviving that encounter and escaping. So if I'm attacked, and I'm in my 60s, this guy's in his 20s, I probably don't stand a chance. I'm not going to have the stamina. I don't have the strength anymore. I don't have any of those things to overcome him. And if he's got a friend, I'm sure not going to be able to do it. So then how do you do it? You know, how do you really do it? So what most people teach you is use your strength. Use your strength. Overcome. But you're not going to do it. He's stronger than you. He's moving too fast. His force is too great. So how do we do it? Well, let me show you this is a common thing, and I'm not saying this happens all the time or even part of the time, but this is a very common thing. If you get grabbed around the throat with a hand, and somebody doesn't just stand there, like in women's self-defense, you feel this right here, and the instructor is Brad here, and they tell the woman to start beating on his hand, to get rid. It won't work. And there's a reason it won't work. You're still in the same plane he is. You're perpendicular with your torso to his line of force or his vector of force, okay? So what you have to condition your mind to do is say, well, okay, he's applying strength one way, but he can't apply strength this way and this way at the same time. I'm not saying he can't apply strength this way and this way, but he can't do it while he's applying strength this way. If you don't believe me, try it. So what is the first thing I need to do? First, I need to find balance, which is how does my weight feel on both knees? You see what I mean? So I don't need to get rocked. See, people get rocked. So what do you fail to do in that first feeling of force is to actually put him in another plane. In this particular plane, it's better, instead of going this way because the elbow hinges this way, is to come outside here, and I'm just going to use one finger. You may not see it real good. Grab it on the other side, you'll see better. See, I'm this way, and as he starts to push, you see, that's all I did. I just turned. You see how I turned? You see how easy? And he's not faking this. Push. You see what I mean? See, I just held the hand here and turned. That's all. If I sink my weight down here, you see what I mean? See, I've just turned him real easy. Okay? Now, yeah, he can come back and hit you, but after you turn, if you stay fluid in your motion, which is what most martial arts are meant to do. And if you'll see a lot of the external martial arts, and you'll have to look that up if you want the definition, or call me, but external martial arts, they do a move, stop, do a move, stop, do a move, stop. That's a really bad way to train your mind to respond to constant force. If you have constant force and you're stopping and starting all the time, he's going to catch you between that start and stop. So what you would do here is he pushes the arm here, I can turn and swap. So what winds up happening is he's pushing here. You can say, well, he's getting me. Then I'm going to push this way, not really even push. Now my arm is going to continue as I step, rotate, and see I've got this hand. You see I've replaced it with this hand now, and I'm going to strike. And it's very fluid, so he starts to move. So here, see? Very fluid. We can do it on the other side where he's pushing here, swapped a hand, took a step, rotated, and struck. Okay? So every single form you do, you have to step, rotate, and replace. If you don't do that, means replace your hands. And a step can be that far. A step can be a shift of the weight from here to here, but it moves you in the plane of depth. Okay? So those are the things that have to be inherent in any movement, because that's just science. That's just physics, man. So you can jump around and tense your muscles and do all that stuff, and that may be traditional or whatever it is, but I've gone away from that after 40 years, and I've gone away from that. I want to be as efficient, simple, and by that I mean use as least amount of energy as I can, because I don't know how long this is going to last. I want to end it as quickly as possible. So when people first come here to learn self-defense, I teach 5 basic movements, mainly based on the art of Xingyi, or Xingyi Tren, which is mime-form boxing. Then you also find those 5 particular, what are called blocks and counters within Shorin-ryu karate. So you'll see that, but a lot of people can't extrapolate those moves. So if you learn those 5 moves, which really are just ways to balance yourself in 3 dimensions of depth, width, and height. If you can learn those 5 moves and then move in all different directions with those 5 moves, you don't have to remember the 5 moves. You just are either turning your hands this way, you're turning your hands this way, okay, or you're turning your hands this way. All right, are you going this way in the diagonal this way, or you're turning this way? See? So the 5 movements are really just splitting or chopping fist, okay? A geyser movement outside in, so that means it's coming from the outside of your body in. Inside out, which means it's coming from the inside of your body out. Shuto, which is just a diagonal chopping fist, and so there's some derivatives of this. Face block punch, which is taking it around this way, so now you have a diagonal, I don't want to say block, I never block. We just continue a person's move. So what you really have to wind up doing is become very sensitive to, with your nervous system, to where he's going, what he's doing. I'm not trying to stop him. That's most people are trying to block, and believe it will not work. It will not work. You can try it all you want to. If you weigh 50 or 60 kilos and he weighs 110 kilos, your block's not going to be at nothing but like a mosquito. It's nothing, okay? You have to be with the movement and just turn, see? See, I just came out there and touched his hand because I got sensitive to have him. So he puts pressure right dead on me. See, look. See, I just turn. So he can put all the pressure he wants there, see? And he'll go away because his balance is messed up. I'm staying balanced between my legs and just turning, okay? If I step, if I keep rotating, so as I'm rotating, if I step and replace my hands there, I can hit him. So when it comes here, see, it's really that simple. He just walked into the hand, right? Didn't hurt you, did it? You just walked right into the hand. You'll hurt somebody before you even realize you've hurt them. Okay, that's the truth. You become very sensitive to that. So when you, like the classics say, a master's chi goes everywhere. What they mean by that is once you've really learned how to move your body in such a way that your nervous system is sensitive enough, no matter where he touches you, no matter what he does, you can apply those three things, which is step, rotate, and replace. Now, you can cause your hands to travel in a circle this way, this way, you see, in the diagonal, okay? And then there are shapes that your hands can make, okay? Use an open palm. I never teach women, smaller people or anything like that to start hitting things with their fist, especially right away, because it's just endemic that Friday, Saturday nights, the emergency room doctors are fixing somebody's hand who hits some guy in a bar. You don't want to, because you'll break your hand. So what you have to be is, you don't have to be faster than him or slower than him. Most people are the same speed. You can believe it or not, but most people are the same speed. You can get more speed by relaxing and not tensing your muscles or using your volition to hit something. So if he throws a blow, see I sling it from my body. Okay, so I'm not here trying to control my punch or anything like that. I just stay still. I'm just slinging it, see? So I can use the back of my knuckles, I can use my palm, whatever I want. So if he throws a blow, see, I can, see? And if you sink down and turn, you've got a lot of impact power there. It's impact is what we want. What knocks the other person out is not necessarily a punch, but the way that impacts the brain, the way it turns the brain in the skull, okay? So here at Self-Defense Solutions, we've been approved by our association to offer teaching credentials, up to teaching credentials, within just a self-defense program. So you can get certificates in a self-defense program. Okay, so it certifies you as a self-defense practitioner or a self-defense teacher. And they're basically these things. You learn to extrapolate these things. So let's say we use this splitting fist, as they call it, or pitch one, okay? It's really just from here to here, but both hands should operate. Most people do this. They try to block, then they try to punch, which is a linear thing. We want to be round. We want to be at the same time. So what do you do first when somebody's throwing a punch at you or grabbing you or anything? What's your first thing? Well, most people try to somehow thwart this. I really don't. I just try to come out and contact it. So I have two hands in front of me all the time. You see, most people who attack just use one hand at a time. So I'm using two hands, and that just tells me which way the force is going. If the force was more on this half of my body over here, and he was throwing it, then I'd just come this way, see? Now, could he hit me with that hand? Sure he could, but then I'd turn. You see what I mean? So I've turned, effectively stepped, even though I've moved from leg to leg. So I've effectively gotten movement in depth as I hit him, but I also turn. So every time I see this blow, I just want to get parallel. Here we go. I want to get parallel. Boom, I've hit him. Let's do that on the other side. So throw this one first. He's coming this way, then this way. See? See? It's simple, but it's not simple. Because your brain wants to think of a thing and do it. What you have to train yourself to do, and that's what all kata and forms are actually there as a vehicle to teach you to do, is to simply learn to dissipate his force. Most of the people who were learning martial arts were Asian. They might have been smaller than their opponents. They might have been outnumbered. So most people want to avoid getting hit, but you can't jump around and let him hit you, get several chances to hit you. Because if you move 100 times and he tries to hit you 100 times, all you got to be wrong is once. Okay, so what you have to do is blend with what he's doing. You have to blend with it. Okay, so what happens to most people is they get intimidated, they get frightened, they get all those things, and we work through those emotions here. So you have to be emotionless. You don't need to be angry. You don't need to be afraid. You don't. All of those things are not essential to receiving information from your nervous system and taking that information, taking that feeling, and rotating it through your body back out to your opponent. That's really what you're doing. And I don't care. I've taught older people to do it. I teach 60-year-olds to do it. I teach 70-year-olds to do it. I've taught little kids to do it. And because it works in science. It doesn't have anything to do with the tradition, you know, if I do this martial art, it's the best martial art and all that. I say every martial art is great if it's balanced in 3 dimensions. If it's not balanced in 3 dimensions, it's horrible. It's not workable. So you want something workable. So you can study for years particular movements and then you cannot apply them. I've seen that in the dojo for many years. And it makes people mad for me to say it. Well, you just got to get mad. You can just come over here and try it. Because if you're trying to use your force and your force can't be placed upon me, then what good is your force? Okay, if you want to receive my force, like blocking and covering your hands up, well, we don't have gloves on. This is the street. Nobody announces what they're going to do. They just walk up to you, grab you, and hit you. That's all they do. You know what I mean? That's it. If they really want to get you, that's what they do. They don't say anything. They don't posture. They don't wait to get searched. You know, they don't get instructions from a referee. And then if they knock you on the ground, they can just stomp your head in. There's no referee there to call the fight off. Okay, this is the reality of the street. They can use weapons too. So you have to be prepared for a no rules encounter. That can cost you your life. I've seen policemen with black belts who just got their butt handed to them on the street. I said, well, all that study didn't help you at all, did it? You know, you're just better off with a good old country boy fighting half the time. You know, just throwing blows, because at least one of your blows will get in there. The time you take to try to block this big guy, you know what I mean, you could have been hitting him. So you're not really blocking anything, okay? A lot of times, then you get your skill really good enough, you can do all kind of fun things like skip hit's what I call it. So he throws a blow and, see, I just skipped off his hand. But you notice that I turned here, you see what I mean? And I skipped my hand off and it just, but I used this other hand to more or less index it. Just know where it is. Because if I'm touching it and I turn, I know where it is now. What if he draws this hand back? I want to follow it. As I follow it, I want to bring this hand out so that your hands come together, separate, come together, separate. Most people are doing this. So now it takes a long time for this hand to get out here. And when you pull this back too early, you got a lot of space here. Right? But watch what I do. See, I'm here. See, my hand's right here. So if he throws the other hand, I can just turn with both hands here, then separate. Okay? That works a lot better than trying to go, block. You see what I mean? Because he might be faster. He might be throwing blows faster. And nothing to stop him when I throw this blow to move it and just grab my hand. You see what I mean? Just grab it in some way, you know, whatever. So now what does people do when they get their hand grabbed? They try to, now we're in a fool, bigger fool kind of scenario. So if you get grabbed, it's simple. It's still simple as simple. So he's got me. He's strong. Believe me, he's strong. Look, he's got me here. He's grabbed my hand. Instead of me doing all this stuff and trying to get away, you know, I know where this hand is, right? So why move it? He's already limited himself with this hand, right? So usually people don't just grab you and hold you there. That's called a date. Right? What he actually does here is he grabs me, he's going to pull me and hit me. So I just want to turn, you see. Now, you see, if you can see his hands here, I can just now put all your might this way. See, watch, I can just drop it, see. If I pulled it down that way, look where he went. See, I barely moved, you see. Look. Now, his own arm now will knock this off. So if his energy's pulling me and he comes this way, then see, now I can just replace, you see. Very, very simple. And he's putting a lot of force out here, and I'm barely moving. You can learn that. You won't do it at first, but you will learn to do it. Now, people who are looking for a black belt, you know, they want to get rank. I'm for that. I just promoted a lady who's in her 60s just a few days ago. Okay, and that's the first promotion I've made here since 2010, I think. Okay, so 11 years I've had one black belt. Because this is what I'm looking for. All right, and it will expose whatever character flaw you have will get in the way of you doing this smoothly, because that's in your mind. That emotional disconnect becomes tension in your mind. Fear becomes tension in your body. So tension in your mind becomes tension in your body. Fear, anger, any of those things, they actually affect the tissue of the body. So you have to stay in a state of just relaxed observation. Okay, much like meditation. That's where meditation gets its usefulness in moving martial arts. Okay, so you can't be here and say, I'm going to get this guy, I'm going to do this, because now you've focused on one thing. All I want to do is feel force, dissipate it, and return it simultaneously. I can't say it all together. If I would, I could, but you're saying it linearly. Okay, so if he throws a blow, you say, I'm already here. His own imbalance messed him up. So now the onus is on the opponent to stay balanced in those three dimensions. And if he can't, your flow will get through one of those static dimensions. Okay, so let's say I'm coming this way and I come over and I hit here. See, he didn't have anything up here to block this. And if he did block it, what would happen now? It's very simple. Both my hands are, say, tied up. Well, I have elbows, right? Look. See, but when I did that, I just went like this. That's an outside in move. Or chuan chuan in Xingyi, okay? Or outside in blocking counter in Shorin Karate. But most of the time you see that outside it's blocked, it's this. See, it's three things in linear. I like it. See? So it touches here, turn, you see, and then strike. So it's, and that geyser movement's like this. So it's, see, because even if he has a hand here, look, so he can come over it. See, if you get here and it gets blocked, what do you do? Well, just do P1 again. Step, rotate, replace, and boom. See, that's what you have to do. When you're fluid in that, great. That's all I want to see. Okay, that's all I want to see. If I don't have a 6-hour belt test or any of that stuff, stamina is not needed. Yeah, you got to be able to walk around on the planet, you know, pretty good, you know, not be crippled or half dead or something. Yeah, you know, the more athleticism you have, the better. I'm not against athleticism at all, but I'm not teaching that. I'm not teaching calisthenics. I'm not teaching hours and hours of failure or reinforcing strength in your mind. My tests are every day. I test students every day. And not formally, I just look at you. Then I throw a blow at you. Really slow. If you can deal with that, if you can dissipate that force and return it, hey, you passed. If you can't, okay, you failed. That's it. That's the criteria. You know, as one of my teachers said, if the fight lasts more than 4 seconds, Steve, you're just playing with them. You know, so that's true. You don't. It shouldn't last any time. Right? It shouldn't last any time. Inside out, for instance, could be here. See, right? See where I wound up? Close to him. Most people try to get away. I want to be this close. Right? Right? Whatever. What if it comes on the inside? See, say he throws this blow and it's this way. See, what if it's this way? See, look, see. I've turned, see. Most people want to receive, say if he throws a big roundhouse blow, see, most people want to catch it here. That won't work. If he's big and strong and heavy, he'll knock your hand into your head. So what's the solution there? When he rears back and you see this coming, you've got to get parallel to this. So in karate, you have this face block punch. In this same movement in Xingyi, it's called Pao Chun, which means exploding fist. It's a diagonal movement. Why is it diagonal? So I have 3 lines here, 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 here. I simply want to bring this center line to his shoulder. Then turn as I come in and dissipate this force. Now you say he could hit you here. Sure he could. But not likely he'll be doing it at the same time he's throwing this hand. So this hand's going to have to stop before he throws this hand. I guarantee you it's just about the way it is. 99% of the people on the street, 99.99% are not going to be two-handed. What I mean by two-handed is they're not going to be able to fluidly move hand to hand. They're going to make a move, stop, make a move, stop. Okay, is that what you're teaching yourself to do and your students to do? It's an error. So when he does this, you say, I can turn, see? See, he didn't get his hand, you see, it's this way. What if you're out here and the blow's coming and it started too early for you to see it and you didn't see it till it got right here? Would you still step in? No. Because then you start to learn through experience, through us doing it with you all the time, that you can simply just, not just lean back, but a small step back with your back foot. So he's got my head here, you see. See, if I stay here, his brain had to pick this point out. His brain calculated the distance and told his musculature where to put it. Most people are even wrong in that. The brain don't even work that good. But if I see it coming too early, I'm on this leg. You notice I didn't do this. I just simply moved back this way. See? So I was on this leg or in the middle, and he throws that blow, and now look. Right? He's missed me. See what I mean? Now, when he does that, see, just be here and step in this way. Right? But if I see it ahead of time, boom, see, and then this comes out at the same time. I don't want to do it too hard because I hate to hurt paying students, you know what I mean? But you see they come, boom, you see? You can just palm strike. See? What if he grabs his hand then? And he does that, right? It's no problem. Just do the move in reverse. Turn, step over. A lot of times you'll step on his leg right there. Turn, step over, and get parallel to that force. See? So he throws this blow, boom. He stops that, boom. So that looks like this. Looks like this. Simple, but yet effective. Notice how I move at the same time. Notice how it's not this. It's one turn. Okay, so it's one turn. Thank you, Brad. Hope you're not too injured, you know. Thank you, everybody. I hope this helps you. Please give us a call. You'll see some text down below here on the video. And if you got any comments or anything like that, you want to talk to, I'm not going to do it on, I'm not going to be an internet warrior and, oh, you're wrong, you're this, you're that. Just come on through the gate, give it a try. You know, it's okay. I'm not responsible for the consequences, though. And you can give it a try or give me a call if you want 2 free lessons, no obligation. You'll be glad you did. Thank you very much, and I'll see you inside the dojo.